Alright, so today's drama is that the pilot light on the water heater won't stay lit. Alright, so we've got that all cleaned up. Moment of truth. And it still won't stay lit. This thing is called a Thermocouple. Well, the new one I bought is shorter than the old one. Kind of pissed. Alright, the moment of truth has arrived. Shooty flamey thing in. And we have pilot light. Bingo! If you don't feel comfortable or confident in what you're doing, call a dang professional. It's not worth risking the safety of your family. I hope it helps you, instead of throwing crap away, fix it, because that's kind of why I make videos like this one. Alright, so today's drama is that the pilot light on the water heater won't stay lit. Heather wanted to take a bath in the middle of the night and there was no hot water, so check this out. You can take this cover off, then you can, I've already turned this knob off, and you should leave it off for a while before you try and light the pilot, but then you'll press that down and click that switch, and I'll show you in the hole while I do that. But you should also turn the temperature gauge down so that you're not trying to crank a bunch of gas while you do it. So I'm pressing down the switch. And you can see it lit. It says to hold it for a minute. I won't make you wait that long. Alright, I think it's been about a minute. It won't stay lit. So, I think the issue is that the flame sensor is dirty or something like that. Check this out. Turn on the light, see if I can get you a view of what's going on inside there. You can kind of see that deal that sticks out is that white rod with the wire coming out of it is the sparker, and then up above that there's two rods. One is the pilot gas tube, and the other is the flame sensor. I think that flame sensor is dirty, so what we're gonna do is disassemble this whole thing, take the burner plate out, and clean off that flame sensor really well. So I'm going to remove the 4 screws there. I'm going to disconnect the main gas line and the pilot gas line, as well as the flame sensor line. Before I do any of that, I'm going to turn off the gas supply and also turn off the water heater, because if you don't do those things, you could blow yourself up, and that wouldn't be good. Let's do it. Alright, so now we've got everything disconnected. See that? There's the pilot fuel. Here's the clicker. We can go ahead and disconnect that. The striker to light the pilot. Of course, we turn the gas off first. Sorry about the light there. So now with this all disconnected, this burner plate will just lift right out, and you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. See all that? This right here is the flame sensor, and I'm guessing that that's a little mucked up. So what I'm going to do is take some emery cloth and just polish that clean, like make it shine again, get down to bare metal, and then we'll put it back together and hopefully the pilot will stay lit. Alright, so I've got that all cleaned off. You can kind of see the little marks from the sandpaper there. I also kind of polished off the end there a little bit, but that's still kind of cruddy looking, so hopefully we'll put this back together and everything will work. And I suppose worst case scenario, we'd have to buy a new burner plate because the water heater's still holding water, nothing leaking in there. Suppose you could look for any signs of water down inside, because if your water heater's getting old and corroding and leaking, it could put out the pilot light that way. But no signs of leaking. Hopefully once we connect all this back up, we'll have a pilot light that stays lit. Oh, and here's one more tip. When you're putting this back in, or if you're installing a new one, put the burner into place, and then you may think, hey, while I'm right here, I just well put those 4 screws in. But you'll find that if you take the time to connect this gas line first, and these are all tapeless connections, they don't need any Teflon tape. Connect this first and hand thread it in, because if you cross thread that, you'll be in a mess and it will leak, and that would be dangerous. And if you connect that in, then this is going to be a lot more rigid and difficult to line the threads up on these 3 just right. So I recommend just putting it in loose like that, then connect these up, then put the screws in to make that stick solidly in place. I'll do that and we'll see. All right, now I've got 2 of the screws back in, just because in case this doesn't work, we're gonna have to take it apart again. We'll go ahead and turn the gas back on. Gas on. And with those connections, make sure they're, again, not cross-threaded, and make sure they're good and tight, because any leaking at all could be disastrous. So you're seeing this real time. We'll see if it works. So you push that and click that. Pilot's lit. And that flame sensor should work pretty quick. It says to hold it for a minute, but not yet. I won't make you watch for a minute. Moment of truth. And it still won't stay lit. My guess is that that flame sensor's gone bad then, that it's worn out, because I can't think of any other explanation as to why the pilot would have just gone out. What we gonna do is we're gonna get on Amazon and also the Rheem website and see if we can't find a new burner, either locally, hopefully locally, because I don't want to go without hot water until 2-day shipping's good. Yep, still won't stay lit. Hi, Cor.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good?
I ate all my pancakes.
Good girl. All right, we're gonna look for a thing to fix the hot water heater online. So in order to figure out what part you need, what you'll want is the model and serial number of your hot water heater. So there they are there. I'm gonna take a picture of them also, so that I can look at the picture when I get on the internet. All right, so to make a long story short, this thing is called a Thermocouple. Rheem sells a part that's like the whole replacement deal, but the hard part is nobody in town has one in stock, and I don't want to wait 2 days for shipping and not have hot water that whole time. I was able to pick this up. It is just a Thermocouple from my local standard plumbing supply. It was like $8, $9. What I'm gonna do is take the old one out and install the new one. Another thing that I had learned as I was doing some research is that sometimes the cause for failure on these is over tightening, which I may or may not have done. But I talked to the guy at the plumbing store, and he said you probably, it's not likely that you ruined anything. But I tried loosening it. I tried several different things to make this thermocouple work, and I'm hoping that it's just this thermocouple that's bad. We'll see. I'll put this together and we'll go from there.
Oh, hi, Flora. Like that.
Looks like the replacement I bought is not gonna be long enough. So the new one I bought is shorter than the old one, so I'm kind of pissed because they did have a 24-inch one, but I bought the 18-inch one. But I installed it anyway. We're gonna go hook it up, see if it fixes the problem, because if it doesn't, then it doesn't matter how long it is. I got a different problem. Here we go. All right, so the excellent news is, in spite of being too short, I was able to make it fit. Let me finish putting some screws in here and get this thing buttoned up. I'm gonna tighten that finger tight plus a quarter turn, and we'll see if the pilot light works. All right, the moment of truth has arrived. Gas on. And we have pilot light. Bingo! Got lucky on a couple of things. I'm gonna check all these connections again to make sure that they're good and snug. But I'm feeling pretty damn good about this fix. Properly assessed. If there's any Rheem experts out there, you're gonna say, dude, your glass door is broken on your thing. Yeah, I'll tape over it, I'll cover it. Your water heater should only get as much vent as is dictated by the vents out here. And yes, another issue that I did break that glass door a few years back with a whole different story, but the water heater will live to heat water another day, all fixed for about $8 instead of a $600 or more water heater replacement. So I feel pretty stoked about that. So I do feel like I should explain one last thing here too, because this playing with your what am I trying to say here, your appliances and things like this can be dangerous, and I definitely do not recommend. If you don't feel comfortable or confident in what you're doing, call a dang professional. It's not worth risking the safety of your family. And on that note, so the guy in the plumbing store told me if that glass is broken, every Rheem rep I've ever talked to says the water heater's garbage at that point. They don't sell replacements. Several years ago, I came down to light the pilot, didn't realize that it had the automatic clicker thing, and hadn't messed with the water heater for a long time since I was a kid, and one of the ones that you stick a long shooty flamey thing in there, and I tried to get the glass out, and obviously I broke it. But I do want to show you, just for your own, I'm not putting my family at risk by any means. The way that these water heaters work is they draw in air from the vent on that side and the vent on that side, and in this case right now through that hole, and it goes up the middle of the water heater and out this vent, and I can put my hand here and feel there's a little bit of heat. If we had our infrared thermometer, there's a lot of heat going up and out that tube and out of the house. So the thing you risk by having this hole open is just that it will maybe draw a little bit more air. See, I can show you, watch this. You can see that it will draw the flame into that hole. So, it's not like it's ever gonna blow down and push gas out into the room. And for that matter, I do have CO detectors throughout the house and all that, so everybody's being safe. But since I broke that glass, I'm not gonna buy their story that I need to throw out the whole dang water heater. What I've got here is aluminum duct tape that I've layered up 4 layers of it, and I'll just use that to cover the hole. And you might say, well, that tape can catch on fire. Well, there's a rubber gasket that holds this door on, and yeah, the door is pretty warm, but there's a gasket there. I mean, this stuff's all high temp, but I do not think that this is gonna start on fire or anything like that. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's helpful to you. I hope it helps you, instead of throwing crap away, fix it, because that's kind of why I make videos like this one. So say bye, Cor. Bye. All right, so after that last bit, explaining the tape and then why I thought it was safe and it would be okay and it didn't get hot enough, I think you might have been able to tell, like, one point when I touched the plate, it was pretty damn hot. So I got to thinking, is it really worth potentially risking my family's safety? And the reality is it's not. So I got on and ordered a new window from these guys at supplyhouse.com. Thanks, guys. It was about like $7. So here we are installing it. Jeez. I put like 4 layers of this tape on here. And there's our friendly pilot light. And there it is, installed. Working and safe again. So thanks for coming on this journey with me. Glad we're able to fix the water heater.